Have you ever wondered what my favorite Pokemon is for specific categories? Well, you're about to find out. So, I couldn't figure out how to get the page to be smaller, so we're gonna have to do quite a bit of scrolling. But anyway, favorite normal type from Gen 1. Now, I may hype up Raticate a lot, like on streams or in certain videos, but I wouldn't say it's my favorite Gen 1 normal type. Now, realistically, the Pidgeot line is a great line, but to be fair, I only really use it as a flyer, even though it does really well in the Kanto games. Uh, Jigglypuff and Wigglytuff, I don't think I ever use them. Spearow and Fearow, I don't use them mainly because of the Pidgey line. Uh, Meowth and Persian, I only really like Meowth because of the anime. Persian, it's alright. A Farfetch'd, absolutely not. Even though it's a cute Pokemon. Uh, yeah, some of these other ones are like hard to get, or I just don't use them. So realistically, this is between Eevee and Snorlax. Uh, Snorlax hits like a truck. However, when it comes to Eevee, I think I like Eevee mainly because of what it can become. Even though Eevee is absolutely adorable. So, when it comes to battling, I would pick Snorlax. Oh god, this is tough. I might contradict what I put in my past tier list videos, but in my defense, Pokemon does an amazing job of making Pokemon. So my opinion kind of flip flops on quite a few of them. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna go Eevee. After thinking about it, it's adorable. It's extremely marketable. Like you could put Eevee on something, and people are gonna buy it because it's Eevee. It can become so many different things. Fire type. This one's easy. Charmander. Water type. Now this one is a massive list. Uh, honestly, we can already cut out uh Golduck, the Tentacool line, respectfully the Seal line, the Cloyster, Krabby, Horsey, Goldeen, Starmie, and yes, Staryu and Kabuto lines. So that leaves Squirtle line, Psyduck, Poliwag line, Slowpoke line, uh, Gyarados line, Lapras, Vaporeon, and the Omanyte line. Uh, now that I'm thinking about it, Poliwrath, Wartortle, Slowbro, Omanyte, and Magikarp can also be removed. So we got Squirtle, Blastoise, Psyduck, Poliwag, Poliwhirl, Slowpoke, uh, Gyarados, Lapras, Vaporeon, and Omanyte, and Omastar. Uh, mainly because I love the evolution so much, I'm gonna have to say Vaporeon. But granted, I didn't pick Flareon as my favorite fire type for Gen 1 because Charmander is literally my favorite Pokemon. I mean, a tattoo of Charmander. Alright, grass types. Ooh. Uh, okay, yeah, this one's easier than I was expecting. Bulbasaur. Electric type. Look, I know what I said about the evolutions. Some of my favorite Pokemon. But I gotta go Raichu. Because it has gotten nothing for 29 years. And then all of a sudden it gets two Mega Evolutions. Okay, well, it did get an Alolan form. Uh, but still, it got two Mega Evolutions. I'm happy. They're freaking cool. The Pikachu shouldn't be the only one in that line to get attention. Okay, ice types. Yeah, this one I gotta go Lapras. Honestly, Lapras probably would have been the one fighting it out with uh, Vaporeon. But speaking of fighting, yeah, this one's a no-brainer. It's Machamp. Poison types. Oh yeah, this is one of the generations that had the most poison types. So I'm gonna try not to double up. So yeah, Bulbasaur is out. Uh, you know what? When it comes down to it, I'm stuck between Nidoking, Grimer, and Gengar. Well, hold on. Gengar I can just put over in Ghost. So I'm gonna take care of that. Uh, in fact, Nidoking could also go for Ground. That depends on what all is here. Yeah, I'll put Nidoking for Ground, even though like one of the top contenders probably would have been Cubone, maybe Dugtrio as well, but yeah, so this way I can put Grimer. However, I'm gonna make it shiny because that was my first ever shiny. And I love it. Alright, flying. Okay, flying type. Uh You know what? I can just put Dragonite for dragon. So that way I have like another option. Uh, part of me keeps forgetting that Scyther is flying type. Uh, you know what? I'm gonna go Gyarados. Psychic type is Mew. Alright, Bug type. Ugh. It's between Butterfree and Scyther. Uh, I'm gonna go Scyther. Rock type. Okay. Uh, yeah, let's go Aerodactyl. Okay, I just realized I haven't been explaining some of my favorites. Well, Gengar and Dragonite are pretty much by default. Uh, uh, Aerodactyl, it's a pterodactyl. I love dinosaurs and ancient creatures. A Scyther is is really strong. Mew, I mean, look at it, it's adorable. Gyarados, how could you not love Gyarados? It's strong, it's cool, plus it has a 6 shine. Uh, Nidoking is really cool looking and it's strong. And you can get it really early in the Kanto games. Machamp, I mean, look at the rest of the fighting types and tell me how you're going to pick anything else besides the really strong four-armed man. Lapras is a gorgeous Pokemon. Bulbasaur, it's a cute Pokemon. And if I don't pick Charmander, I'm picking Bulbasaur. Okay, Dark types. I'm gonna go with the classic MissingNo. Because that's just an iconic look. Steel type. What's better than one magnet? Three magnets. And the fact that they don't get any smarter, that's funny. Alright, fairy types, I gotta go with Clefable. Honestly, for the longest time I was in the camp of the conspiracy theory where Clefairy was the shadow of Clefable. Then they rolled out the poison typing. Or I found out about the poison. Not the poison. The fairy typing. Alright, starter, obviously Charmander. Gimmick form. Uh, Gigantamax Eevee is just adorable. Like, it's Eevee, but just fluffier and giant. Excuse me, Legend, Mew. But yeah, when I said no overlaps, I mean, like, with the typings. And favorite, Charmander. Alright, Johto. This one should be one of the faster ones. There's not that many Pokemon. Honestly, Ursaring. It's a big, strong bear, and it was one of my favorite Pokemon to use in Pokemon Go before Ursaluna became a Pokemon. Excuse me. I gotta go Entei. Like, unpopular opinion, Entei is the best of the legendary beasts. I mean, look at how cool it is. It even has its own movie. Let's see. For water type, I gotta go with Octillery. I know, weird pick, but I tried a Nuzlocke of Pokemon Shield like a long time ago. And Octillery carried the team for quite a while. Grass types. Honestly, Celebi. It's a cute little onion fairy. And that is honestly my favorite mythical slash legendary. Electric type. I gotta go with Mareep. I'm a fan of sheep, and it's a really cute Pokemon. Alright, Ice type Delibird. Delibird does not get enough love. Yes, it got a Paradox form, but that doesn't count. That is an upgrade, not like an evolution or something. Like, Delibird itself needs attention. Give Delibird a Mega. Even though I didn't have that on my list of Pokemon that I'd like to see get a Mega. I only gave myself 20 spots. And if you haven't seen that video, uh, it should be at the end card. At least I think so. Anyway, fighting type, Heracross. Wait, it's either the child, the top, or the beetle. And you gotta go with that adorable and strong looking bug. Okay, a poison type, Crobat. It's between two spiders, a pufferfish, or the coolest bat Pokemon to ever exist. Look, I hate friendship evolutions in Pokemon games, but Crobat is absolutely a top tier Pokemon. Alright, ground type. Uh, I'm gonna go Quagsire. I mean, it's so goofy looking. Well, on second thought, I'm gonna go Wooper. Because I have a Wooper plush somewhere back there. I got a shiny Wooper there. I got a Paldean Wooper somewhere else. I got a Clodsire. Yeah, Wooper's just adorable. Flying type. Ah, righty then. Uh, I'm actually gonna come back to the flying type. Oh, I forgot. They give you every single form of unknown. But yeah, Gen 2 psychic types. Espeon. Like, when I'm actually bothered to do the friendship method, I like using Espeon. It's a great Pokemon, and once again, it's an evolution, so it's really cool. Right, bug types. This is where C's. Well, hold on. Uh, no, let's give Caesar the steel type, so I can give Fortress the bug type. What can I say? It has a 6 shiny. It's a bulky Pokemon that is only weak to fire. Yeah. Yeah, because Bug by itself is weak to rock, flying, and fire. Steel is weak to fire, fighting, and ground. Bug resists fighting, and I think ground. Yeah, avoid attacking with ground. So yeah, and then Steel resists flying and rock. So it's only weak to fire, and it's a 4 times weakness. So yeah, same goes with Caesar, but also add in the Scyther argument. Alright, rock type Tyranitar. It is a rock Godzilla. Plus it's strong. Ghost type. Hmm. Yeah. This is a very hard decision, but I'll go with Mischievous. Ooh, same with Dragon. Let's go with Kingdra. Dark type Umbreon. Same applies for what I said about Espeon. It's an evolution. When I'm bothered to do the friendship evolutions, I like using Umbreon. Oh, excuse me. Uh, Fairy. Togepi. It's just a cute little egg. Plus, for the longest time, because of the anime, I thought this was a Gen 1 Pokemon. Alright, Flying type. Uh, I'm gonna have to go with Ho-Oh. Uh, Somewhere up there, I have a. I think it's a shiny Ho-Oh plushie. Plus, it's really colorful, and I love that. Alright, starter. Oh my god, I didn't actually pick a starter. That is bizarre. Uh, I'm gonna go with. Uh, I'm gonna go with Totodile. And no, it's not just because Totodile is my brother's favorite Pokemon. Totodile in the anime is really energetic. It has a great personality. It's a great Pokemon to use in Johto games. Yeah, gimmick form. Let's get the 700 base stat total Mega Tyranitar on the field. Because in Pokemon Go, I have a Lucky Hundo Shiny Tyranitar. And it is a menace. Okay, Legend. Crap, it's a three-way. Well, there's three that are in contention, but I gotta go Celebi. Ooh, but my favorite Johto Pokemon. Uh, Heracross. Gen 3. This thing can fall in a hole and disappear forever. I cannot stand Whismur. In fact, Loudred can join it. Oh, let's go Swellow. Alright, Fire type. Well, okay, yeah, Swellow from the anime, plus it's a great Pokemon to use. Fire type. I gotta go Blaziken. It's a really great Pokemon to use. Plus, I played the Hoenn games so many times. Okay. Yeah, this one I might have to use some workarounds. So, let's skip over to Ice type. That is Feel, is spherical and adorable. And who's one of the other? Let's see, ground types. Okay, let's actually skip over to Dragon. Yeah, Flygon for Dragon. It's a great Pokemon, it just needs a Mega. It's so overlooked. Yeah, back to ground type. Swampert. Another great choice for starters. Only has one weakness, and it's a 4 times weakness to grass. Oh yeah, same with Wooper. Uh, and then... Yeah, I can put Ludicolo here. I have a Ludicolo plushie right here. Don't mind that he's wearing one of the WWE championships. I just think that it's a neat touch. Plus, he's just a vibe 100% of the time. Uh, Grass type. You gotta go Sceptile. Like, Sceptile is... once... Okay, so let me phrase it like this. Hoenn has the perfect starter trio. Like, they don't have a single bad starter form. Okay, not counting Mega Swampert or any of the Megas. Like, I have my own issues with Mega Swampert. It just looks too weird with the buff arms. But anyway, If we're counting like Gen 3 Hoenn only, that and yeah, all three lines of starters are perfection. I gotta go with Manectric for electric type. It's a cute dog, and I don't have many options. Fighting types. Oh. Okay, so this is a moment where I wish Sceptile was actually dual typed. Because I like Breloom and I love. Well, I like both Breloom and Hariyama. They're incredible. You see, if Sceptile had another typing, I could put Hariyama here and Breloom in the grass type spot. But I've used Hariyama more, and Makuhita was my first shiny in Pokemon Scarlet. So yeah, I gotta go Hariyama. Alright, poison type. Not gonna lie, this is honestly the most underwhelming lineup of poison types. Gulpin, I'm gonna disqualify. It's only useful for these nuts jokes. Rosalia, I'll kind of keep into consideration. Swallow, not a fan. Seviper, I'm not a fan of snakes. Well, actually, I'm terrified of snakes. But snake Pokemon, I'm not a fan of. So, really, Dustox and Rosalia are my options. Hold on. Well, let's see bug types. Alright, this doesn't help me either. Because for bug type, I gotta go with Shedinja. It's a unique Pokemon with a unique ability. Plus, if you get the perfect combination with this and another Pokemon in Pokemon Infinite Infusion, you could have like a very broken Pokemon. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna go with Dustox. Mainly because I prefer Roserade over Rosalia. And Dustox looks kind of cool. And I forgot Shadow Lugia is technically Gen 3. But I feel like that would be cheating if I put that. So, I'm gonna go with Rayquaza. Rayquaza's a really cool Pokemon. Like, what more needs to be said? Psychic type. Once again, I feel like. Wait, these were Gen 3? Why did I think they were Gen 4? Alright, you know, for some of these, I'm gonna have to do some more working around. So, Steel Steel type is Metagross. It's a really strong Pokemon, and it looks insanely cool. Alright, Psychic types. You know what, let's... Fairy types. Yeah, Fairy types will get Gardevoir. Like, Gardevoir is a cool Pokemon. I don't like it as much as other people on the internet like it. But when it comes to battling, I cannot deny its power. Okay, Psychic types. Uh, yeah, I'll go with Jirachi on this one. You know, I hope you guys are seeing a pattern here. Because you got, well, a lot of these are just cute little guys like Celebi, Spheal, Bulbasaur, Eevee, Charmander, Mew, Jirachi, Togepi. Plus Psychic and Steel? That's an incredible type. Alright, Rock type. Uh... Uh... Yeah, I'll go Aggron. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, it's 4 times weak to fighting and ground. Yeah, because it's Steel Rock. Yeah. Like, when you're not fighting those, it's a great Pokemon. Alright. Yeah, Ghost type. Okay, hear me out. So, I'll move Shedinja here. And then I'll put... yeah, I'll put Beautifly there. Like, Dustox keeps poison, kind of by default. Beautifly... It's a beautiful Pokemon, but it's really annoying in Pokemon Legends Arceus. But then again, a majority of the bug types are way too aggressive. Alright, Dark type. I gotta go with Cacturne. Like, there's something about it that gives me the right amount of creepy and cool. Alright, starter. This is a difficult one for me. Because honestly, with all the times I've played the Gen 3 games, like mainly Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, I don't think I picked the same starter 2 times in a row. Uh, I gotta go Blaziken. Specifically Speed Boost Blaziken. Excuse me. Okay. Gimmick form. Now, this is kind of where my thoughts on the Hoenn starters being the perfect trio kind of goes downhill. Like, the Grass Dragon typing of Sceptile, along with the speed boost ability of Mega Blaziken, these two are great. It's just the weird arms and the weird look of Mega Swampert. Uh, I'm gonna go with Mega Altaria. I don't know why, but this one speaks out to me a bit more. People like to clown on the new Megas for being goofy. Sableye just got a bigger gem. Uh, Glalie just got a beard and a bigger mouth. Mega Swampert just got, like, Popeye arms. Uh, okay, never mind. I'm switching my answer to Mega Rayquaza. I keep forgetting how cool that thing is and how dangerous it is. All right, favorite legend. Uh, I guess I gotta go Rayquaza. Since I have Rayquaza for flying, Mega Rayquaza for gimmick form, and then my favorite Gen 3 Pokemon. Uh, I mean, I have Rayquaza on here 3 times. Yeah, I gotta go. Well, hold on, that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Like, for the most part, Hoenn has a great selection of Pokemon. I'm actually actively hunting for a shiny Spheal in Pokemon Legends Arceus because it's adorable. I love Spheal. So yeah, Spheal's the answer. Okay, favorite normal type in Gen 4. I'm gonna go with Arceus. And if you guys aren't watching my Pokemon X randomizer, you're missing out. Alright, fire type Infernape. It's a cool fire monkey. Plus, there's not that many options. You either have one of the 3 monkeys, a lava frog, an oven, and red Mega Man. Alright, for water types, you get a bit more of an option, but I'm going with Piplup. Fun fact, before I even knew about Charmander, Piplup was my favorite Pokemon. Granted, it's been knocked down a few steps, but it's still in my top 10. Grass type. Ah. Alright, so I'm gonna go Leafeon. Excuse me. Okay, so Leafeon, it's a good evolution to Eevee. It's beautiful. I mean, yeah, grass isn't really the greatest typing, but realistically, you could get it somewhat early. As long as you find the mossy rock and you get an Eevee. Like, as soon as possible. Alright, electric types. Oh my god, Ukulele, Pichu, and Spiky Ear Pichu. Uh, I gotta go Luxray. I mean, it's a really cool Pokemon. It has X-ray vision, even though it doesn't really use it in Legends Arceus. I'm gonna go Glaceon. Even though that's the evolution you can get the latest, depending on the generation, but it's a cool design. No pun intended. Okay. Let me take a look at poison types here. Okay, yeah, it is Croagunk. Croagunk is another. Yeah, Croagunk is another Pokemon I have a plushie of. I just don't know where it is up there. Plus, the anime helps out quite a bit. Alright, so then fighting type. Okay, hold on. Yeah, let's go with Lucario. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, let's go with Lucario. Excuse me. I mean, it has a sick Mega. It's a great Pokemon to use. Granted, friendship evolution. But I like it. Okay, ground type. I gotta go with my little Gibby right here. Well, yeah, I'll keep Gibble. It's cute. It has a cool shiny. I yeah, I'm gonna keep it there. Flying type. Ooh. Okay, hold on. So let's see. Psychic. Yeah, I'm putting Gallade there. Gallade's a great Pokemon. Plus, it's psychic and fighting. Wait. I think that's a great type combo. Right, for bug type, yeah, it's Yanmega. Even though I do like Kricketune and Mothim, okay, and Vespiquen, but I feel like Yanmega is one of the better options. Okay, yeah, let's scroll all the way down here. Uh, so who else was I thinking? Oh yeah, for here, I'm debating between Staraptor and Togekiss. So let's check Fairy. Well, Togekiss is going there. How do you not love Togekiss? But if it has Serene Grace, it is a threat. So that means Staraptor, everyone's favorite emo, is my favorite flying type for the generation. I mean, it's a really strong Pokemon. Alright, back to the rock types. I guess Bastiodon. I mean, yeah, it has a 4 times weakness to fighting. But I honestly think it just looks cooler. Ghost types. Oh, We're gonna go with origin form Giratina. At least I sure hope this is the origin form. You know, I am going to look it up. Sorry, my mom messaged me. Origin form Giratina. Yeah, because altered is the one with the legs. I think it looks cool. Even though I have a shiny Giratina plushie up there somewhere. Now you may be wondering, why do I have so many shiny plushies and where do I get them? Uh, I'm not sponsored, but usually like Team. However, I think the shiny Ho-Oh I got from like one of those conventions that one of the malls here in the state has. Right, Dragon type. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go with yeah, I'm gonna go with Dialga. Steel Dragon is a great typing. Dark type. Uh, you know what? Spiritomb. It's dark and mysterious. Steel type. I'm gonna go with Empoleon. What can I say? I like the Piplup line. Starter Piplup. I just mentioned that. Gimmick form. Man, I honestly thought there were more. Well, I'm gonna have to go Mega Lucario. Legend. I don't know. They did a really solid job with the legendaries here. Uh, I'm sorry. I've used Giratina more often than Arceus. The only times I really use Arceus are in randomizers. So favorite, I'm gonna go Piplup. All right, Gen 5, the region with the largest Pokedex. What? We got two robots, whatever this thing is, and legs. But for here, I gotta go Stout. It's a dog. And who doesn't love dogs? What? Okay, fire types. Alright, so it's between Volcarona, Chandelure, and Victini. Uh, I'll come back to that. Water types, I gotta go Samurott. I know people clown on Samurott a lot. But it was my first Unova Pokemon that I've used. Like in any playthrough, and I like it. Grass type. Wait, what? Those are two different doors. Whatever they are. Uh, I guess Snivy because of the anime. Electric type, Zebstrika is a Pokemon that I think could use a Mega. It's a good Pokemon. I'm gonna go Cubchoo. It's adorable. Well, hold on. Let's go Kira. It's a really cool Pokemon. Why do I keep calling ice types cool? I'm not doing that on purpose. Alright, so fighting types. We either got pigs, whatever these guys are, Bert and Ernie, two Pokemon that can't keep their pants up, uh, karate mammals, some sort of deer, some sort of I don't know, cow? Another sort of deer. Wait, maybe this is a goat. Yeah, so goat, cow, deer, horses, a singing lady, and then literally a guy. Uh, uh, okay, I guess Keldeo. Like, honestly, I'm not a fan of many of these Pokemon. Like, I'm not trying to sound like a Gen 5 hater. It's just that some of these fighting types are not cool looking. Okay, I know what I just said about fighting types, but rubbish. I know. I'll take a sentient bag of trash over Emboar. I know it's weird, but there's something about rubbish. Plus, people hate on it a lot, so that kind of makes me feel the need to defend it. Okay, ground type, obviously Crocodile. Realistically, the only other options are like Golurk and Excadrill. Alright, flying type, Braviary. I love Hisuian Braviary. I love Unovan Braviary. It's just a cool Pokemon. Alright, now we're into Psychic types. Yeah, okay, I think this is where I'll pick Victini. I mean, it's a really cute Pokemon. Like, how could you not love it? Then there... Okay, so... Okay, ghost types are right over here. And bug types are right here. Okay, honestly, I'll admit, they got a great variety of bug types. That is something that the Unova region did right. Uh, You know, I think I'll put Volcarona here. Oh, hold on. Let me check out ghost types. Yeah, I feel comfortable enough putting Golurk there. It's just a giant ancient robot. Then over here, Chandelure. It's a cool Pokemon. Like, Fire and Ghost is a great typing. Alright, Steel type. Wait, no, that's Rock type. I saw Bastiodon and my brain automatically thought Steel type. But no. You know what? Let's go with Gigalith. Like, yeah, it's a trait evolution. But has that ever been an issue with any of these Pokemon at this point? I mean, Caesar, but maybe a couple others. I am a champ. But I think that's a simple solution these days. Okay, and then Dragon type. Hmm, I'm gonna go with Reshiram. I don't know. There's something about the fire typing on this one that I like more than the electric typing on Zekrom. Alright, we are on to dark types. Uh, yeah, let's go Zorua. It's really cute. I love that it got a regional variant. Plus, it's kind of clever when I fall for the illusion strategy. Steel types. Okay, this one I feel comfortable putting Bisharp. Like, when I heard Bisharp got an evolution, I was so pumped for it. Because, like, yeah, it has the unfortunate, like, you know, it's dark and steel. Yeah, it has an unfortunate 4 times fighting weakness. But come on, I like it. It's so cool. Fairy types. Whimsicott. I prefer the bigger one over the little cottony. Starter. Ah, wait, hold on. So I I messed up. I prefer Oshawott over Duwat. Oshawott's adorable. Plus, it loves its little shell, and the anime also helps it. Okay, so I really only have two choices: Gigantamax Garbodor or Mega Audino. I may be in the minority here, but I don't hate Mega Audino. However, I gotta go with the living embodiment of the dump. Legendaries. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna go Reshiram. And favorite out of all the ones that I picked, Yeah, I'd say Braviary. Alright, Gen 6 should be one of the easier ones. Okay, so now they're including Megas in the standard. Wait, hold on. Oh, they don't even have this updated for anything involving ZA. I mean, understandable. The game isn't even out yet. Alright, but I'm not going to pick any Megas for any of these. Unless that's like the only option. Alright, normal type. This thing made me mad in one game. And that kind of made me dislike Heliolisk. I'm gonna go with Litleo. I don't know. There's not that many options to work with. Plus, it's cute. Alright, fire types. Oh, okay, well. Yeah, fire type, we have Talonflame. I mean, none of the other Pokemon really speak to me, and Talonflame's a really cool Pokemon. Uh, yeah, Greninja for this one. Honestly, my favorite Gen 6 starter. Okay, this one I have to pick Trevenant. I mean, Trevenant is a ghost tree, and they pulled it off. And, like, once you make it shiny, that just adds the cherry on top. Oh, hold on. There we go. Okay. They even got cosplay Pikachu. Dedenne just had a principal. Plus, it's cute. Have I even... No, I haven't even picked a Pikachu clone yet until now. Let's go with Aurorus. It's a beautiful Pokemon. And I like dinosaurs. Who's that jumping out the sky, REY? Mysterio the Hawlucha absolutely gets the spot for fighting types. Dragalge, since I had literally one other option, since I'm not counting Megas. Uh, it's just cooler. And I think it's Dragon Poison opposed to Water Poison. Okay, well, here I'm gonna go with Zygarde. I know what I said about snake Pokemon, but this one's actually one that I can actually like. Alright, flying types. Ooh, they also have different patterns of Vivian. But I'm going with Noivern. It's a really cool Pokemon, and I've used this before. It's incredible. Plus, I have something that I already plan on putting in Dragon type. Alright, for Psychic type, I'm gonna go with my friend Malamar. Okay, what about Bug type? Okay, I think this one that looks like a sunrise over the ocean, I think that one looks the best. Then, for this one, Tyra, and a Tyrantrum. It's a dinosaur that's dragon type. It's really cool. Alright, Ghost type. Uh, I'm gonna go with this version of Aegislash. It's a possessed sword. Need I say more? Okay, Dragon type, Goodra. It's a gooey guy, and I loved it in the anime. Plus, I love using the Hisuian version. Alright, Dark type. Yawtol. I mean, to be fair, Malamar, I already picked for Psychic. For Ninja, I already picked for Water. I'm not a fan of this Hoopa. Inkay, it's alright. Pangoro, cool Pokemon. But I like the Bacon Bird. Okay. Now, I know I said I wasn't going to go for duplicates. But technically, this isn't a duplicate because they're different Pokemon. I like... it's... Yeah, I think it's Doublade since there's two blades. But we're about to find out. Wait, oh no, I won't wait for it. Oh, it's Doublade. Yeah, I did say Doublade. Because there's double the blades. Alright, Fairy type, easy answer, Sylveon. I mean, Sylveon's a great Pokemon. The Fairy type is a great type. Plus, I love Evolution. Alright, starter. Greninja's the obvious choice. Alright, gimmick form, there's quite a few. Uh, let's go with... Yeah, I'm gonna go with Mega Ray Ray again. And a legendary, Mega Rayquaza. And then I would say for my favorite in this generation, yeah, Hawlucha. I have Hawlucha in my top 10. Excuse me. Okay. We are now in Alola. Drampa, I'm gonna say for normal type. Just the fact that it befriends a child, and if it's getting bullied, Drampa will burn down the bully's house. That's metal. I love that. I wish I would have had one of these in real life. Uh, yeah, go. I'm gonna go with Alolan Marowak. I like Marowak, even though I didn't list it as my favorite ground type. This is really cool though. Water type. Like if it's a regional variant, I'm counting it as part of that generation. Now, if it's like a special form, like a Battle Bond Greninja, I'm not counting that. But yeah, Primarina. Water and Fairy together, incredible typing. Sure, it looks feminine, but I don't have an issue with that. As long as they don't look too humanoid. I gotta go with Decidueye. It's a great Pokemon. Grass and Ghost, incredible typing. Or at least it's a good typing in my eyes. Electric type. Alolan Raichu. It's a great looking Pokemon. I love that this was the start of the Raichu appreciation. Even though we didn't get Megas for Raichu until Gen 9 or. Well, is Legend ZA technically Gen 10? Because you can't take your Pokemon that have been in ZA and bring them to other games. I, I don't know. Uh, yeah, see, this is another reason I'm counting like regional variants. Because in my I would not pick Abominable. But Alolan Ninetales, gorgeous Pokemon. Great typing of Ice and Fairy. I'm gonna go uh powered up Marshadow. At least that's how I think of it. There's something about just a tiny fighting type. It's just so cute. Poison type. And I'm gonna go with Toxapex. I love the purple and blue with a hint of orange. And it can turn itself into a little bunker. Alright, shiny, well, no, Palisand. Just Palisand. Even though the shiny, absolutely gorgeous, I love this Pokemon. It's a great type combo. I don't use it as much as I'd like to. But yeah, it is absolutely a good Pokemon. Flying type. Yeah, I'm not going to overthink it. Toucannon. Yes, it looks like a regular toucan. But the name Toucannon is hilarious. Alright, psychic types. Uh, I'm gonna say Duskmane Necrozma. I mean, it's just Solgaleo, but cooler. Alright, bug type. I'm giving that honor to Vikavolt. It's an incredible looking Pokemon. And I've used it a couple times. It's actually really cool. Well, really good. Okay, I'm gonna say Rockruff. I was going to pick between one of the Lycanrocs, but Rockruff's just a puppy, and I love it. I love puppies. Uh, Mimikyu for Ghost. Like, its backstory is sad. It wanted to become. It wanted to become popular like Pikachu, but in some places of the world, it's more popular than Pikachu. That's that's not the sad part. It's sad because it has to hide under the cloth, and people can become unalive if they look at it. But yeah, the rest of the story was a comeback story. Alright, dragon type. Uh, let's go with, this version of Necrozma. It just has that aura to it. Alright, dark type, I'll finally pick Incineroar. If you couldn't tell, uh, I'm a wrestling fan. Now, I know what I said about Pokemon looking too humanoid, but this kind of looks like Tony the Tiger if he joined wrestling. Alright, uh, Gen 7 Steel type. Mm. You know what? I'm going to go with Melmetal. This thing is a beast in Pokemon Go. Because I have like an electric type move to start, plus a steel type move and an electric type move, and it hard carries my team sometimes. Alright, fairy type. Man, they've really knocked it out of the park with fairy types this generation. Uh, Tapu Koko. I like the yellow and orange with the patterns on it. Alright, favorite starter. I'm gonna go with the Decidueye. Alright, Yeah, I'm gonna go with Alolan Raichu on this one. Legend. Uh, you know what? Let's go with Marshadow. And my favorite from the generation. Excuse me. I mean, out of principle, I don't think I should choose. Oh, hold on. No, earlier I said that I'm counting these as Gen 7 Pokemon. However, I gotta pick Rockruff. Like, as much as I like Alolan Raichu, I would say I don't like it as much as regular Raichu. Alright, Gen 8. Normal type. Okay, hold on. This is a tough one. Mainly because they have the Hisui Pokemon involved. Okay, let's see. Psychic type. Okay, yeah, that's why I'm gonna go with Hisui and Braviary for Psychic. Unless. Wait, no. Hisui and Braviary for Flying. Because, like I mentioned before, I love Braviary, and I love Hisui and Braviary. They're great Pokemon. Okay, Ground type. Yeah, that's an easier Saluna victory. Like I mentioned before, not a Snake fan. Then we just got Ruin hieroglyphs and a bear trap. Uh, then who else was there? Oh, yeah, let's check Ghost. Okay, so yeah, for Ghost, I'm gonna go with Drag. Wait, hold on. Ooh, I this is tough. I actually love quite a bit of the Gen 8 Pokemon. Uh, hold on. What about Electric type? Okay, you know, here's what I'm thinking. Ghost type for Dragapult. Like, what's not to love about a Ghost Dragon? Dragon type. I'm gonna go with Appletun. It's adorable, and it's actually pretty strong. Uh, yeah, so for this, I'm. Well, hold on. Yeah, for. Yeah, I'm gonna go Hisui and Zoroark. Because it's normal ghost. It has 3 immunities. Ghost, normal, and fighting. Its only weakness is dark. That's incredible. Oh, uh, this generation has way too many good Pokemon. Okay, I'm gonna go with the like this version of Basculegion. To be fair, Even though I started off with the Inteleon line, I don't know, I don't like it as much as I used to. The Churro line is kind of cool. Cramorant is goofy. Uh, why do they look like evil French guys with the curly mustache? Uh, these fossils, not that big of a fan of them. Uh, yeah, even though I love Hisui and Samurott, I think Basculegion just looks cooler. Excuse me. Let's go with Hisui and Voltorb. I love this little guy. That's another one I have a plushie of somewhere back there. Electric type. Hold on, let's actually look at ice types. Yeah, this one's an easy dub for Arctozolt. I know people hate the Galar fossils, but I love this one. Okay, okay, well, I guess they don't hate Dracovish. It's actually a menace and competitive. But I don't do competitive battles. Alright, so this one I'm gonna go with Phalanx. It's just a small army of little dudes. Okay, Yamper for electric type is a cute dog. I love dogs. Then here I can pick Toxtricity. Well, let's go with the low-key form of Toxtricity. The purple and blue together is just perfect. While this one kind of reminds me of the Vikings, the worst football team ever. Yes, I can say that. I'm from Minnesota. They suck. I know. I'm probably going to have a lot of Vikings. Well, I'll probably have like 3 Vikings fans in my comments section yelling at me. Okay, psychic type. Yeah, I think this one I'm going to have to go with Weirdier. It's a much needed evolution for Stantler. Not a fan of the convoluted way you have to evolve Stantler in order to get this, but I like it. Bug type. I think this is where I put Snom. Okay, yeah, there is Snom on this list as well. But yeah, Snom's adorable. Man, I really need to organize up there to kind of remind myself who all I have for plushies. You know, I might just make a video on that. Alright, rock types. Uh, you know what? For rock type, I'm going to say Hisui and Arcanine. Like, yeah, it's unfortunate that it's 4 times weak to water and ground, but I love it. In fact, let's go back to fire type. Yeah, I think I'll just put a Hisui and Growlithe on here. Because once again, it's a dog. I love dogs. Alright, dark typed. Okay, you know what? Let's actually move over to fairy. Just for a brief moment. Yeah, let's put Grimmsnarl under fairy. So I can put Hisuian Samurott in dark. So yeah, Hisuian Samurott still made its way onto this list. And then Grimmsnarl, it's an ugly fairy type. That's awesome. I mean, I shouldn't be roasting it too much. I'm like a solid 2 at best. Alright. Steel type, Corviknight. It's a giant metal bird. That's awesome. Plus, flying and steel, that's a type combo I can get behind. Yeah, hold on. So, flying is weak to rock, electric, and ice. Steel is weak to fire, fighting, and ground. So, it has the ground immunity. Yeah, steel becomes neutral. Not steel, fighting becomes neutral. It still has the fire weakness. Rock becomes neutral. Yeah, and I think it loses its ice weakness as well. So yeah, electric and fire are are the ways you can take it out. All right, starters. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Hisuian Samurott. You know, I guess I don't like the Galar starters as much as I used to. All right, oh, that's a huge list. Oh yeah, that's gimmick for. Uh, Hisuian Growlithe. Then legendaries. Is this the only generation I haven't picked a single legendary? Or mythical? Yeah. You know what? This might not be an agreeable option, but I'm gonna go Calyrex. I like the big noggin. And plus, the hate that it got helped me kind of defend it more. So then my favorite. Uh, you know what? Let's go with Appleton. I like my little apple pie dragon. In fact, I wish I had a life-size one, even though that's like $500. All right. Gen 9 normal types. Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna go Blood Moon Ursaluna, Fire type, Gouging Fire. Like Ursaluna was already perfect enough, but they gave it a Blood Moon form. That's incredible. Plus, I mentioned this earlier about Entei. It's the best legendary beast in my opinion. And same goes with Gouging Fire. Okay, water type, Waxley. My boy. Definitely in my top 5. Alright, grass types. I feel like this is where I should put Hydrapple. I used one in the Blueberry Academy, and I loved it. Okay. Electric types. Yeah, Bellibolt. Uh, right there. Yeah, right there. I have a giant Bellibolt Squishmallow. Oh, and right there I have a smaller one. Alright, ice types. I'm going with Iron Bundle. Even though I kind of dislike the Violet Paradox forms because it's just metallic versions of Pokemon. While the Scarlet Paradox Pokemon look like ancient versions of these Pokemon. Okay. Fighting type. Oh. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Quaquaval here. Because what? Ghost type. Ugh. Yeah, this is one of the only times I'm not picking a dog Pokemon. But yeah, Quaquaval, great starter. I don't care if people hate it because it's like flamboyant and weird looking. I like it. Okay, yeah, so poison type, I'll pick Clodsire. Oh, excuse me. It's also in my top 5. So, my top 5 is like Charmander, Clodsire, Waxley. Uh, Man, I don't quite remember the rest of my top 5. Now, that's something I might have to try to figure out for a video. Alright, ground type. You know what? Unpopular opinion, Ting Excuse me. It is my favorite Treasure of Ruin Pokemon. Alright, yeah, I think it's safe to say I'm picking Flamigo for flying type. Psychic type. Uh, I keep forgetting Velusa Psychic type as well. Let's go with Farigiraf. Oh, yeah, Flamigo, it's a flamingo. Look right there. I have a flamingo plushie. I also have a couple flamingo dress shirts. Flamingos took up like a good chunk of my zoo vlog, if you guys have seen that. Alright, bug types. Slitherwing. I like Volcarona. I picked it for the bug type in Gen 5. I love what they did with it. Alright, rock type. I gotta go with Cloth. It's a unique way to do a crab Pokemon. But Annihilate, the evolution that Primeape needed so long ago. Uh, Dragon type. Uh, yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go with no. I said no, no. Roaring Moon. It's just Salamence, but ancient. Yes, it's a little weaker than Salamence. At least I think so. I know Salamence has a base stat total of 600, which means uh, yeah, Roaring Moon. I don't know why I'm looking this stuff up on my phone when I could be using another tab. Uh, where's the base stat total? Oh yeah, I passed it. Yeah, 590. So it is just 10 base stat total points lower. Here, I'm going with Mabostiff. It had a sad backstory during Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and it really grew on me. Alright, Steel type. Ooh. Oh no, let's go fair. Okay. These last three for types are kind of difficult. Well, not three, but two. Because King Gambit, Tinkaton, and either member of the Fightle line are towards the top of the list. I think I'm gonna have to go King Gambit here and Fido here. Like I mentioned with Bisharp, I was happy that Bisharp got an evolution, and I like using it. Fido is just adorable. It's a dog. Okay, starters. I'm gonna go with Quaxley. No explanation needed. Uh, alright, gimmick form. I'm gonna go with Toad's Just the way that it runs is freaking hilarious. Alright, so legendary Yeah, I guess Ting Lu since it's the only one I picked. Uh, let's see. Favorite Gen 9 Pokemon? Quagsire. Alright, so then my favorite normal type out of every generation. Eevee. Favorite fire type? Obviously Charmander. Favorite water type? Yeah, I gotta go with Quaxly. Favorite grass type? Celebi. Favorite electric type? Raichu. Favorite ice type? Spheal. Favorite fighting type? Hmm. Hawlucha. Yeah, that's enough. Yeah, Hawlucha was one of the ones in my top 5. Yeah, and I guess Eevee was one of the others. Uh, yeah, Clodsire. I don't know why I was overthinking that one. All right, this one I'm gonna go with Ursaluna. Here, uh, Rayquaza. Let's go with Mew. Bug type, Volcarona. Rock type, Tyranitar. Ghost type. Yeah, let's go with Annihilate. Dragon type. Man, I picked 8. Well, 7 cool looking dragon types and then 2 of the goofy ones, but Appleton. Dark type. And I guess this is so far the only evolution that's making it. Steel type, Metagross. Okay, I lied. Sylveon is the other evolution that's making it. And that's not me saying that the other evolutions aren't alongside my other favorites, but like compared to what I picked in these other ones, it was tougher to pick them down on this end. So that's why I picked a couple up here. Okay, favorite starter, Charmander. Favorite gimmick form. Out of all of these, uh, I mean, I did pick Mega Rayquaza twice, so I gotta pick it again. Legendary, Celebi. Then my favorite of my favorites. It's it's Charmander. Okay, let's finish up with these. Favorite new Evo. Uh, well, technically, Blood Moon Ursaluna isn't because you can't evolve an Ursaring into Blood Moon Ursaluna. So I'm just gonna go Ursaluna. Wait, hold on. Wait, no, never mind. Clodsire. I didn't notice that down there. But can you even consider that a new Evo? Because it's the evolved form of a regional variant. So I feel like that's kind of cheating, but I'm gonna keep it though. Let's go with the blue. Oh my series. Yeah, let's just go straight up all blue. Vivian, the same like sunrise over the ocean kind of look. Spinda, yeah, I'm gonna go with that one. Favorite Pokeball? Ah, excuse me. You know, now that I'm looking at all of these, I like a lot of them. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Moonball. Favorite type? Uh, hmm. And so, out of all the Pokemon that have appeared here, so honestly, I don't know what type shows up the most, but yeah, I would say I'm more of a fire type kind of guy. Favorite Paradox form? Yeah, that would be Gouging Fire. Favorite Ultra Beast? Uh, yeah, I'd say Poiple. Favorite Mythical? Stellaby. Favorite Box Legendary? Uh, excuse me. Yeah, I'd say Rayquaza. Favorite regional bird? Uh, honestly, probably Starly. Like, just out of these options, like, no evolutions or anything, yeah, I'd have to say Starly. Favorite regional mammal? Lechonk. Even though I don't think I picked any of the regional mammals. No? Alright, favorite regional bug? You guys are gonna probably call me a Gen 1er, but Caterpie. Favorite pseudo legendary? Uh, Tyranitar. Favorite Pikachu clone? Technically, Mimikyu is not a Pikachu clone. Pikachu doesn't even. Well, nothing in the Pikachu line counts as a Pikachu clone. So, by that process of elimination, it's probably Dedenne. Because I don't count any of these Pikachu clones as Pikachu. I don't count any of these Pikachus as Pikachu clones because that's exactly what they are. Pikachu. Raichu is an evolution. Pichu is the baby. Alright, favorite evolution. I mean, I this one's actually tough. Now, picking between all 8 evolutions. Like, I'm not counting Eevee or Gigantamax Eevee because they don't evolve from Eevee. I guess Sylveon, but just barely. Favorite fossil? I'd say Arctozold. Favorite regional? Oh yeah, favorite regional form. Probably Hisuian Growlithe. Favorite Gigantamax? Yeah, I guess I'd say Eevee. Favorite baby? Oh, excuse me. Togepi. And then oh, okay. So yeah, I guess that's how I do that. But yeah, thank you for sitting through 2 hours of this. I didn't expect it to take me this long. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching the video. Please like, share, subscribe. Comment any other video ideas you have in the future. I will leave the link to this website down in the description so you guys can try it out for yourself. With that being said, I will catch you in the next video.